What is going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Kevil, and we are here to discuss the crazy news that happened just not too long ago, about an hour or 2 hours ago, somewhere within there. Josh Gordon is going to be traded or released. The title reads that Josh Gordon will be released by the Cleveland Browns. We're going to react to that, give you our thoughts on the Josh Gordon situation. Josh Gordon, as it really comes to if he's going to play in the NFL any longer, what's going to happen with his personal life, and then also if we can sort through the news and find a way to see if Josh Gordon is going to be able to get to a new team and play football this year. We'll talk about all the avenues of Josh Gordon, the good, the bad, and everywhere in between. So let us know what you guys think about Josh Gordon being potentially released by the Cleveland Browns or potentially being traded by before Monday, because the release statement would be that he would be released on Monday. So technically, Josh Gordon is still a Brown until that date, and then he'll be released. If he's not traded by Monday, then he'll be released, open to sign with any team he pleases, if he would be signed by any team if they're willing to take the chance on him. Kevil, what was your first reaction to Josh Gordon being released by the Cleveland Browns?
Well, my first reaction was all fantasy football players are now on their computer making adjustments. That was my first reaction. But as I thought about it more and a little bit more seriously, I think the Cleveland Browns are doing the right thing. I'm going to recognize that I'm in the position here that I'm going to be in the minority. I've seen what people are talking about on Twitter, so I'm recognized. I'm not going to be the more popular opinion, but I'm going to stick to this anyway. I think the Cleveland Browns are doing the right thing, whether this is a release, a trade. His story, his situation has been well documented. You can just simply Google it. This isn't the first time that this guy has been in trouble. The reports, from what we're understanding, and again, everything right now is a report, but he pulled his hamstring on a promotional tour, which is indication that there was some substance abuse. Josh Gordon was not involved in the preseason because there was some diagnosed issues with mental health. That's diagnosed. That was factual. His history from when he was in university and playing college football, it's well documented. I think the Cleveland Browns have released an anchor to their organization. I don't mean that in an insulting way, but I think that they've done everything that they can to actually legitimately help Josh Gordon. And I've also said this, I know that we're going to have this discussion if Josh Gordon should be on a team or not. The NFL needs to take mental health seriously. It's very clear, it's very documented that what Josh Gordon is going through is mental health here. There is a lot of mental illness. I bamboozledly confused why teams are taking this chance and looking up opportunities to acquire a guy that needs professional help. And get excited when a guy with the talent of Josh Gordon becomes available. But the fact is, it's documented. Josh Gordon has had a number of issues that I think that reasonably I would recommend that teams stay away and make sure that this guy gets actual serious professional help.
I think it was good that I brought Kevil on here, because I know that Kev's going to give you that side of the story, and I'm going to try and give you the opposite side. I'm going to try and be a little bit more positive and say that Josh Gordon is going to be okay, and that Josh Gordon hopefully is going to be
What did I say that wasn't positive?
Not positive. Okay, I mean that hopefully Josh Gordon will be able to play. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Why is it important for you to have Josh Gordon play?
Because I want to see Josh Gordon on the field because he's a great football player.
Okay, I also want to see Josh Gordon on the field because he's a great football player.
And obviously, Kev, if he is good mentally and he is good and he's focused, then he'll be on the field. If he's not, he won't be on the field.
So,
So by me saying I want to see him on the field, that's also wishing him well as a person. Because if he is not good in a good facet, in good place as a person, then he's not going to be playing football.
but the problem is not you. Let me preface this. I'm not saying it's necessarily you, but the fan reaction has been, we need to find a team for him already. Like, why don't the Dallas Cowboys pick him up?
No, okay, this is the way I understand the NFL. This is the way I've always understood it. So when a player with issues gets released, teams will contact the Cleveland Browns or whoever the team that released him may be. They'll ask the questions, okay, what's up with Josh Gordon? What happened? Why did you release him? They'll give them the rundown of, okay, he did this, that, and the other thing. We don't necessarily know. We heard reports that he hurt his hamstring at a promotional event. I have not heard anything about drugs or anything like that. I have not seen a tweet in relation to that, so I'm not going to say that that happened. Obviously, he has history of mental illness and depression and stuff like that, so you could maybe assume that, but a team is not going to assume that. If they're a smart general manager or a team, they're going to contact the Browns, get their diagnosis of what they think the situation's going on. They don't exactly know. And then from there, whoever the team may be, let's say it's the Cowboys, for example, Jerry Jones will say to the people in the organization, okay, should we take the risk on Josh Gordon? It seems like it's not a lot to do with the drug situation. Maybe we should take a look at him. We really need a receiver. And if it doesn't work out, it will only be a 1-year deal and we can release him. It doesn't matter. If it's the other way and it's, okay, this guy's in a bad place, maybe we probably shouldn't sign him, he needs help, then we won't sign him and no team will sign him. That's the way I understand the way the NFL works from a general manager or like upstairs, the big boys. That's how I understand it, because teams are going to get the diagnosis from the team or from the person before, or the agent, whoever it may be, before they actually go out there and sign him. They're not just going to sign him blind or anything. And I'm not saying sign Josh Gordon if he's not going to be able to play football. I'm saying I want to see Josh Gordon do well as a person. Therefore, when he's in that mindset and he's good, then he'll be able to play football. I want to see the best from Josh Gordon because I feel he can be a great football player, and he has shown that he can be a great football player. I'm not saying I don't care about his mental well-being and he should play regardless of that. I'm saying I hope he's okay, and if he is okay, I want to see him be signed. And it doesn't matter if that's with the Patriots or anybody else.
I'm not saying that you are, but I think that the fan reaction out there and even some of the media reaction has been, let's get this, like, we need to find where this I'm using air quotes here, asset needs to go because of his talent. And there's so many other things that we may get into here, but I do want to read the statement from John Dorsey, the general manager.
Okay, I was going to do that, so go ahead.
This afternoon, because I think that there's some things really telling about what John Dorsey is saying here. This afternoon, we informed Josh Gordon and his representatives that we are going to release him on Monday. For the past 6 years, so this isn't yesterday, this isn't a year, this is 6 years. For the past 6 years, the Browns have fully supported and invested in Josh, both personally and professionally, and wanted the best for him. But unfortunately, we've reached a point where we feel it's best to part ways and move forward. We wish Josh well. I think that they reached their breaking point at some point, whether this is this hamstring. There are reports that he was late. He was not. How many snaps did he play against Pittsburgh? He didn't. He played. I'm
not sure.
He
did score the game-tying touchdown.
He did score the game-tying. Yes, he did. He did score the game-tying touchdown, but he didn't play a lot. And for a team that was 1-31 going into that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers with a guy of this talent, it's interesting that they didn't play him, knowing, and even Sasha Cohen, former general manager of the Cleveland Browns, said that they didn't have the talent to get necessarily remove themselves from Josh Gordon. So there was obviously, they had some hope, but I think that they reached at some point here, whether it be training camp, whether it be this incident. There's something within the last few weeks here that certainly said to the Cleveland Browns, it's time.
I think this was a very recent thing because just this week, the Browns promoted Josh Gordon to number 2 receiver on the depth chart after previously not having him there because of missing training camp. So going off of Adam Schefter's tweets, he says that, okay, so he retweeted Chris Mortensen of ESPN. He said, Josh Gordon's pending release is inclusive or present in past issues, a team official said. He reported to the team facility this morning with a hamstring issue after practicing all week. So that probably means that he had no hamstring issues until yesterday. So I guess he was doing whatever the promotional event was. He hurt his hamstring. And basically, Chris is saying that there was some trust issues there with what happened. And from what I can draw so far, we have not seen anything of Josh Gordon be reported of anything in terms of drug-related, depression-related. All I've seen is the hamstring and notes of mistrust between him and the organization.
Well, how do you develop mistrust, though?
By all that past stuff. And obviously there was something that happened with the hamstring or something that happened this week that Josh Gordon crossed the line and the Browns were saying, we gave you this last chance this year and we're willing to let you go. I'm not saying it was a bad move by the Browns. I'm just saying by looking at the situation right now, this would, to me, equal a person or a guy, a football player that would probably get a second chance because I don't see a reason so far from a report that would equal him not getting a chance elsewhere with a fresh start elsewhere. Because he's had all these chances with the Browns. He's had all these situations and problems with the Browns, but he hasn't had a problem with the Cowboys or the Seahawks or the Patriots or any of these teams, right?
Let's correct that. He was suspended indefinitely from Baylor for a violation of team rules. So this isn't new. These issues are not just because this is the Cleveland Browns. Like, it's fun to pick on the Cleveland Browns. They're 1-31. I mean,
I'm just saying maybe there's something to do with Cleveland. Maybe Josh Gordon needs a fresh start is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, maybe he does, or maybe he needs sincere professional help.
Yeah, which I feel another organization may be able to do.
Pardon me. Sorry, say that again. I was talking.
I feel that another organization may be able to help Josh Gordon. We've seen it in the past with other players that they leave a team or a situation and they go somewhere else and it significantly helps them, maybe because of the coach, the situation with the team, leaders on the team, people in the locker room. I feel like this could be more than just Josh Gordon as a person. I don't know what the reason is.
My issue with my challenge to what you're saying is that you're blaming the Cleveland Browns.
I'm not trying to blame the Cleveland Browns. I'm saying they were right by releasing him. You
stated it was Cleveland. If it was another, you said.
I'm not saying it was Cleveland. I'm saying maybe Josh Gordon needs to go somewhere else. I'm not necessarily saying it's Cleveland's fault. I'm saying that Cleveland should release him if they feel the reason was enough to release him for.
Well, we both agree that he needs to go somewhere else, and where he needs to go, I feel, is to sincerely get professional help. Because the person that needs to help Josh Gordon is Josh Gordon. I mean, he's Baylor, Utah. He was picked in the guy with this much talent was picked in a supplemental draft, not in the NFL draft. I mean, he was given 4 years, $5.3 million in July 16th. He had 2 great seasons, but he's had a number of issues, and he hasn't necessarily played the last 3 or 4 years. So to me, what I would be looking at if I'm a general manager of an NFL club, I would be saying, like, what is Josh Gordon doing to try to help himself? Because clearly whatever happened here did set the Cleveland Browns off to release or trade. We're using the word release or trade because there's a possibility that the guy is going to be traded. So clearly he's done something that set the Cleveland Browns off. Does that not make
sense? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But
and everybody's trying to put in the chat that he signed with the Seahawks.
I doubt it. Well, no, I don't doubt it. Actually, I should. I don't doubt that. I who knows? But you never know. But I mean, I guess for me, the issue isn't so much of what team he should play is what help does Josh Gordon need, and to me, this is an issue of mental health. This is a guy that does need some sincere help. We have this debate with Johnny Manziel. This is a guy that needs to take some time to help himself out, and I can't emphasize how important that is. And this not tough love per se for Cleveland, but I think it's just to the point where I think Cleveland said, there's not much more that we can do for you. We have tried with you. We acknowledge that Josh Gordon has talent. We would love to have Josh Gordon on our fantasy football team, and we would love to have Josh Gordon on our team, but we can't trust him. And football is if there's a mistrust issue, football is a game of trust. So if I'm a team, I have to, when I'm hearing the word mistrust, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't know. We have to wait and see because we need to get all the details. And I don't know if we'll get all the details, to be honest, of the story. I just think we're going to go off of past history with Josh Gordon. And I don't know if anything happened to off the field because we haven't got any information yet. So I don't really know what to say. But Adam Schefter, just continuing on with his tweets, he says that teams are already calling the Browns. Like I said, they would, to see what the situation is. And basically teams and league sources are saying that Josh Gordon will probably be traded instead of being released. So I'm guessing he would go for like a 7th round pick, if anything. And that would be a team that's willing to take a risk on him. I mean, again, we just brought up the mistrust and everything from his past. But if he were to be cut, he would basically be cut and be able to sign anywhere for any amount of money and any length of deal. But it would obviously only be a 1-year deal and probably a limited amount of money because of who he is. Again, Adam Schefter tweeted after that multiple league sources believe the Browns will trade Josh Gordon before they release him on Monday. Any other crucial tweets or information you want to add to this conversation?
Well, actually, what the question I would like to know from the chat, I'm not reading this, but I'm reading on Twitter that a bunch of fans are like, you need to acquire Josh Gordon. At Eagles, sign Josh Gordon. At Packers, can you imagine if Josh Gordon was with Aaron Rodgers?
And I tweeted, Patriots sign him. But obviously, I'm not saying Patriots sign a guy that needs help. I'm saying Patriots sign Josh Gordon, who is good, who is 100%. I'm not saying sign Josh Gordon if he's like messed up. Obviously, he needs to go get help and then figure it out from there. But obviously, I think just from a football perspective, because I'm sure people want the answers to this, I tweeted the top 5 teams I believe Josh Gordon would go to. I think the Cowboys would be number 1 because of their history of signing players with issues off the field. The second one would be and obviously their need for receiver. They don't have a game-breaking receiver. Second would be New England because they signed Corey Coleman this week, as well as Benny Fowler. They just released Benny Fowler. And if they're going to sign a guy like Corey Coleman, I believe they're looking for a receiver. They're shopping for a receiver. They may trade or sign Josh Gordon. Third would be, I believe I put the Eagles because the Eagles do need a receiver. Alshon Jeffrey is out for long term. He's going to probably be out for a couple more weeks. They don't really have anyone besides Nelson Aguilar. And I believe that the Eagles would be a locker room and a place where Josh Gordon would be able to fit in, and they have a strong enough leadership core where they would be able to, I think, work with Josh Gordon.
I would love to hear AC's reaction of Josh Gordon with the Eagles.
I would too. Fourth one, I think I put down the Bengals. The Bengals would be a team where Marvin Lewis has a history of taking these players, like let's say Adam Pac-Man Jones, and sort of turning them around a little bit. And I think, him being sort of close, them being the division rival of Cleveland, being close to that situation, I think would be interesting. And they need a receiver, obviously, besides AJ Green. The third and the last one, I put Buffalo because they don't really have any receivers. I don't think that would be the best location for Josh Gordon as a person, but I believe that the Bills would benefit the most on getting Josh Gordon. Ian Rappaport also tweeted, just to add on to the information we already sort of said, he was late today to the facility. In addition, he was fine at Friday's practice, then injured his hamstring. The question of how is part of the reason they released him. So the biggest reason they released him, according to this, is how he injured his hamstring. My understanding is it's an overall trust issue for a player on thin ice, like we already said.
Okay, so here's my question to the chat. Knowing what you know of Josh Gordon and what we have just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking the chat, do you want your team to sign Josh Gordon?
Kev, let's answer that question. Would you want your team to sign Josh Gordon? Even if it was for 1 year?
No.
Okay. I would say, yeah, I do. And because just thinking from a financial standpoint in the NFL, if the guy can't cut it, and if he does really need help, then just release him and he'll have to find his way, because there's only so much that the Browns could do for him. I don't know if another team could really hook him up with a better situation. But just from a football perspective, if you're going to get Josh Gordon a new mindset, a new motivation, and kind of finally realizing after getting cut, because he had all these chances where he was just kind of pushing it, and he finally got released. Maybe that's going to change him a little bit. Who knows? Hopefully it does.
I want to see some professional help. I would want to see some going forward improvement from Josh Gordon. And I'm not convinced that you can put him – love to hear AC's reaction to this. I'm not convinced that you could put this guy in a locker room and the locker room can save him. I think that this is, to me, what has – it's under – the power of Josh Gordon to improve or make those changes or get the help that he needs. And I don't think that he would be, like, talent-wise, sure, but he hasn't – I mean, we haven't really seen him on the field. If I'm a general manager, I'm staying away from Josh Gordon. If I'm a fan base, I'm staying away from Josh Gordon. In my opinion, I think that there's more harm to this than hurt.
What harm could Josh Gordon do to your football team?
You're paying a guy a bunch of money with the hope that
what money? It would be probably a one.
Cohen said about him, we didn't have any talent on the wide receiver position, so we needed to go with Josh Gordon because we had to hang on. So I think he's bringing some.
But what are you paying him? You're going to be paying him a 1-year contract, a veteran minimum.
It's still. I think you're holding on to hope that you're taking the time to have this guy hope that he's ready.
What are the cons there, though? That's what I'm from a football perspective. What are the cons? Will he damage your locker room? Will he?
The word
suck?
is mistrust.
Will he? I don't know.
Mistrust. Remember the word. The word is mistrust. The word that they.
If he's not trusted, he's going to get released.
And that's just.
Would that hurt your team?
Time-consuming to me. It's time-consuming to me. That does hurt a team.
I don't know. I don't see it as time-consuming.
Would be something, and he's not.
I see it as take the shot, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's how I personally.
I would wait until 2019, see where this guy is at, and give him the fresh start next season. See what he's going to do from this day that he's being released and or traded. Mm-hmm. See what he's doing from this point, and bring him back in 2019. That's okay.
Let's get to the chat. Zane says Josh Gordon is a top 10 receiver. Demario says he might go to Dallas. They need a wideout. Zane says he will be traded before being released. Rick Badboy says, I never thought he would finish his career as a Brown. Ashley said Josh Gordon to the Pats. Rick Badboy says, hearing now they are looking to trade him by Monday. Factor Fiction, Dallas signs Josh Gordon. Pebble.
I don't know. I would hope that Jerry Jones and that crew has some good sense to think about this before doing it. But
Cowboys are signing him 100%, says Predator. Pablo says Cardinals are winning the Super Bowl. How do you feel about that?
They're not winning the Super Bowl, but okay.
What else? Rick Badboy says, you meant you want to see him on the field in a Pats uniform. Well, of course I would, but only if he's going to give it 100% and be ready to go. I don't want him if he's messed up, like I said. Zane says Jerry Jones is going to trade Zeke for Gordon. Okay. I don't think it would take that much. Report Josh Gordon being signed by the Seattle Seahawks. Josh Gordon to the Jaguars? ? Maybe. I doubt it.
You imagine him with Tom Coughlin?
That's what I'm saying. That's the biggest I doubt it of that whole situation is I don't think Tom Coughlin would do it. But from a need perspective, I think they would take Josh Gordon, but I don't think if it was Josh Gordon, like 2014 Josh Gordon, yeah. Who is better, Von Miller or Khalil Mack? Oof, that's tough.
Probably I would go Miller right now.
All around, I think Khalil Mack, but in terms of a pure game changer, I think it's Von Miller. So I would slightly say Von Miller, but that could change every week of this year. Where are you guys getting the information from? It is called Twitter.
Twitter.
Rob wants a lie detection test on Josh Gordon. 49ers would be an option, says Rob. He's not going to be signed by Seattle. Expect to be traded within the next 48 hours. Pesky says, I say sign him and take the chance. Ghost says, I agree. Why would you sign him just to release him? So he's on Kevil's side. Daniel says, I lean towards yes, I would want him. Michael says no. Saints won't make the playoffs, says Zane. Rick says, Mitch, a change in team wouldn't help him. Everybody's saying Seahawks. Okay. Any final thoughts, Kevil?
Well, the one thing I will encourage you to, this is not the same sport, but we encourage you to read the story of Robin Leonard from the Buffalo Sabres, goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres. He was dealing with some mental health issues. There's an article in The Athletic about that. I want to see the NFL, but there's my bottom line, is I would like the NFL to start having a mental health policy, as I do think they need it. I think that this is important.
I think so too.
And hopefully this is one of those things that comes out of this. All the best to Josh Gordon.
And to finish it off, Michael Grant says Josh Gordon to New England. Well, like I said, only if Josh Gordon's okay. But I hope he's okay. We both do. And hopefully we can see him playing football sooner rather than later, but who knows? Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. we don't have a ton of information to go off of. But like I said, we gave you the good, the bad, the ugly. We gave you some potential landing spots. We'll see if he does get traded. We'll see if a team is willing to take a chance. But until then, we'll just wait and see. Hopefully Josh Gordon is okay. And for Mitch and Kevel of the Bottom Line View, hope you guys enjoyed again. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more NFL, and peace out.
Peace.